Hi, and welcome to the cognitive training video for setting up the tablets for cognitive training. My name is Paul Allen, and I will be showing you how to set up the cognitive tablet modes in mice. Now, there's two types of tests that need to be done with cognitive. One is tapping, which will involve primarily using of the mouse, and the other one will involve touching the screen. Now, if you haven't done it yet, make sure that you're in touch mode. So go to Start, go to Control Panel, then the N-Trig Pen and Touch settings. And since we already did this previously, we're safe, good to go in the touch mode. So then click on OK and close that. After you check the touch settings or make sure that they're correct, you also need to make sure that the antivirus is not installed. The antivirus software will interfere with the timing on all the cognitive tests, because it will sit there and it'll run in the background and take up CPU time. That's not a situation that we need to have. So please make sure that you follow the uninstall Symantec endpoint protection video. Now, you just need to start up the cognitive software. To do that, you go to Start, All Programs, click on Predict HD, and the Predict HD Cognitive Suite. It will then pop up an environments test box. Now, the pen and tablet settings isn't working quite right as of September 11th, 2009. So it'll be red, don't worry about that. The second thing it'll do is it'll check for a USB mouse. That right there is why you need to plug this in before you start the cognitive software. The third test is a sound test. And quite often, the sound test confirmation will pop up behind the environment test box. So you would have to move the box around to see the thing, to see the sound test box. If you heard the beep, like we did, click on Yes. If you have any doubts about whether or not anything passed, click on Retest. And it'll run back through the tests again. Now, running the test might take like a minute or two. And there was the beep. So we click on Yes, and then we click on Done when you're sure that everything's set up right. Do not worry about the pen and tablet settings being red right now. Once you get into the Site Tool Task Administration box, enter your participant's ID, and in our example here I'm using 9998, which is a test participant. I happen to be right-hand dominant. I speak English, but there's other choices, German and Spanish at the moment. And you can also drop down and select which visit this is. I'm going to go ahead and select visit 1. Now the tappings are speeded tapping and pace tapping. Specifics on each of these tests will be different and be covered later on. So I'm not going to actually fire up any of the tests. But with speeded tapping, you just leave the laptop where it is in laptop mode like this, and make sure that you have the mouse in a position where they're comfortable looking at the screen. For the hemostatic, chooser, and buttons tests, you need to convert the laptop into tablet mode. To do that, you first need to hold the Control key down, the Alt key down, and press down, the down arrow. That'll rotate the screen upside down, so that when you rotate the screen and lay it down, it'll be right side up for you. The reason you want to flip it upside down like this is so that your cords are away from the participant and not getting in their way and interfering. And then once you get ready to do that, you just click on like hemostatic, and you click on Run. Click on Yes, and there you go. To get it back into laptop mode, you just rotate the screen back around, and you hit Control, Alt, and then the up arrow. In the list, you may see that there's a chooser and buttons test in the battery. Those tests are no longer considered part of the cognitive test, and those tests will be removed at a later date, so don't worry about ever having to run those. And thank you for watching the video on how to configure the laptops for testing